What is up, guys? It is Jack and welcome to a new video. Now, we are only 4 days away from WWDC 2018, which makes me so excited. And in case you don't know, WWDC stands for Worldwide Developers Conference, and they have it every single year where they release a new iOS, a new macOS, a new tvOS, and as of recently, a new watchOS. But sometimes Apple likes to surprise us at WWDC by actually releasing hardware and brand new products, which would be absolutely awesome. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about in this video. For starters, let's talk about the software. Obviously, the one you're probably the most excited for, and at least I know I am, is iOS 12. Now, we can see from this invitation that Apple put on their website about WWDC everything that we're used to in iOS 11, from the switches to the plus and minus things on the calculators, for all 3D popped up. If you guys haven't been listening to the iPhone rumors lately, a lot of people have been rumoring that there's going to be a new 3D interface on iOS 12. And for a while, people thought they were going to push it back, maybe next year, the year after, but then this WWDC invitation came out with a 3D interface. It's almost like Apple's trying to tell us, like, hey, take the hint, what do you think we're making? Because every year in these invitations, there's always a little special thing that they add that kind of previews and foreshadows what they're making. But as far as what we can expect from iOS 12, other than this new 3D interface that we don't even know will happen, is a ton of bug fixes and improvements. Since if you guys have iOS 11, you'll know that it is super buggy. It's more buggy than really any iOS firmware I've ever used, and it almost feels like I'm using a beta, even though I don't use betas. I used to be on the beta program, but I hated all the glitches, so I stopped it, but now it feels like a beta, even though it's the real thing. So iOS 12 is set to have a ton of bug fixes and improvements that will fix all of the little glitches that was in iOS 11. But overall, I don't know if it's going to be a huge update. As far as the new macOS, honestly, we know just about nothing. Some people are rumoring a night shift mode for Mac. Others are thinking we might get more customization on the new firmware, but it's really hard to know. What we can guess is that they are going to be releasing new MacBook Pros at the WWDC event, which they have done before, and it's been about a year since the 2017 ones, so it's kind of time for a refresh. And some people are thinking it's time for a new look. As you guys know, currently MacBook Pros have pretty small bezels, but they're not super small, and with the release of the iPhone 10 and Apple's initiative to make the screen bigger and the actual form factor of the device smaller, we can expect to see a laptop or new MacBook with really, really small bezels. I'll put a few concepts on screen now for you guys to see. I just think they look so good, and I really do believe Apple could easily mass produce these on a global scale. So definitely a refreshed MacBook would be awesome, although we don't actually have that one confirmed. One thing we do have practically confirmed, though, is the release of the AirPower charging mat. We saw that in September at the release of the iPhone 8 and iPhone 10. Yeah, September 12th, we saw that thing released, but it still hasn't hit stores. We still haven't gotten a price for it. They just sort of teased it, and it has been months and months and months, and still Apple has a phone with wireless charging, but they don't have their own wireless charger. I mean, Apple, why couldn't you have just released like a subpar one that we could use until this one came out? Seriously, what's taking so long? But in case you guys haven't seen, AirPower is actually a really, really cool wireless charger. It's a little white mat that you can actually stick your phone, your Apple Watch, and your AirPods on. Yes, I do believe they're going to be coming out with either AirPods 2 or an AirPods charging case, but it's just super slick, and it's really nice that you can charge all of your Apple devices right there. Furthermore, Apple could be releasing 2 new phones. One of them that has been seriously rumored lately is the iPhone SE 2. You guys know I used to use the iPhone SE as my main phone, and I actually really enjoyed it. I have really small hands, so I love a small phone, but I really need that extra battery life, which is why I now use an iPhone 8 Plus with a gigantic battery in it, because this thing will last me for days. But I really did love the iPhone SE. It was a tiny phone with all the specs that the then new iPhone 6s had. It's like a flagship in a tiny form factor, but these days it's pretty outdated. It's got the specs of the iPhone 6s and the tiny form factor, but the iPhone 6s is no longer a flagship, so it seriously falls behind. And right now, before the second one comes out, if you want a tiny phone, that's definitely not what I would recommend. There are a lot of other little phones out there that you can find that will do a lot more than the iPhone SE can. So if Apple wants to stay in that tiny phone game, it's time for a refresh. And a lot of people are expecting a new iPhone SE that looks a little bit like the iPhone 10. It could have Face ID, maybe wireless charging, but at least a faster processor. Maybe the new A11 one or even an A10 one, but the one that's in there now just isn't holding up. The second phone phone some people think could be released at this WWDC is an iPhone 10 Plus. Now, a lot of people have been rumoring for a long time that Apple is going to make an iPhone 10 Plus, but I really can't imagine that they'll just release that in September. Just the Plus, exactly the same as the 10, but just the Plus as the new phone of the year, because that's usually what's released in September. So it makes sense, just like with the release of the iPhone SE, to release it not in September with the flagships, but rather in June at WWDC. But who knows? We don't actually know that it's in production right now, and if it's not in production right now, it definitely won't be released in 4 days. So you guys let me know in the comment section down below what you are hoping for WWDC. Some people think there's going to be a new bezel-less iPad. Others are hoping for a brand new 6.1-inch LCD phone, which I have talked about in the past. I don't know, it's really hard to know, especially since Apple's totally been cracking down on leakers lately. They can throw you in jail for taking a picture of a phone you're like designing if you're an Apple employee. That is really insane. So I hope to see you next time. If you don't see me, I'm probably behind bars. And that is pretty much it for this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. Also, comment down below what you think for WWDC, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. I'm Jack. Peace.